Today we're taking a look at the Panasonic ES-LT4B electric shaver, also known as the Panasonic 700 series or the Panasonic Arc 3, or over in Japan it's known as the Panasonic Lamdash 3. It's a fairly lightweight shaver that uses free shaving elements, and I would say it's within the mid-price range of the latest electric shavers. And I'm going to share today where I think this fits within my best electric shavers roundup at shaveradvisor.com, or where it doesn't fit in. Panasonic seems to be making use of this free shaving element type of shaver, because I have used and reviewed before this other Panasonic, which is a, right, what is this one? This is the RM3B, which is a very slim line shaver, very quite unique. Also, I tested and reviewed this Swipe Right, that's also got free shaving elements. However, I'm not covering them today, but that in the description you'll find links to the video reviews and reviews on my website for those shavers. But I'm just mentioning it because we can see that Panasonic is, trying to do whatever they can with this free shaving element design. This model's kind of more closer to a standard looking shaver, although it does look more has a kind of contemporary modern look, and slightly minimalistic. In this video I do my usual, and I will share the pros and cons of the features and design based on my experience and my views. I shall also do a demo shave, despite already using this a good few times before. I'll do a demo shave so you guys can see how it performs. Then we'll wrap it up with some kind of feedback, what you can take a look at next, and my views, recommendations of who this may be suited for or who it may not be suited for. I'd say the closest competing shavers for this shaver that I have used is either the Braun Series 3 kind of Pro Skin model. However, that doesn't have any flexi head to it. That's even more minimalistic. Then we've got the Series 5 Braun and Series 6. Series 5 is also, it's very similar, but it also does not have any flex in the head where this does. So I think this is like a little bit of a step up. So my view is it probably compares better with the Series 6 Braun Series 6. The head flexes back and forth on this, although the head on this shaver, on the Panasonic, flexes left and right. But I think they probably compare better. There may be a Remington or another shaver that could be a comparison, but I haven't used a Remington that I would compare with this shaver as yet. So costs, just for an example, we'll use US prices. So in the USA, and it'll be called the Lamdash model in the USA, what I see available at the moment, that's $120 US. For other models outside of the USA, like the UK, Europe and so forth, there seems to be more models available, and they're usually called the Panasonic 700 series. The Panasonic website in the USA doesn't actually have this model. It has the older Arc 3 model. But in the USA, around about $120 US, so that's kind of around about the mid-price range. We also need to consider the replacement costs of the blades plus the files. Now this is a separate unit. When we take this apart, we have files at the top of file cassette section, plus we have separated blades. Now we have to replace both of those, and these blades have to be replaced approximately every 2 years, and the files every year, and they can be bought separately. The file and the blades can be bought separately, or it can be bought both together. And when bought both together, there's kind of a saving in the cost. And the longevity of these is always going to differ for each person based on their type of beard, is it coarse growth, and how frequently they use them. Plus how well you take care of cleaning and oiling and taking care of the shaver. But the blades cost around about $24 US, and the file is around about $29 US, which will last around about 12 months. And the set of them is around about $45 US. That's similar to the price of kind of Phillips replacement cutters, or Braun's replacement cassettes. So similar in price really, maybe slightly more expensive if we're looking at mid-range shavers rather than like the Panasonic Arc 5 or the Braun Series 9 Pro Plus the Philips i9000 models. But this is, I'm comparing the prices here for more mid-range price shavers. The features and design, so it's kind of a fairly lightweight shaver. It weighs around about 150 grams, which I guess is probably quite normal, but it feels lightweight. The handle of this feels, and I'll say looking at it, it kind of feels quite plastically and hollow. In a way, the head feels, You can feel the weight in the head, and then there's kind of no weight in that body. It's not really top heavy, you know, it still holds okay in the hand. I'd have liked to see some rubberized grip on this. If you take a look at this grip on the back, where we slide our forefinger, that's kind of got some lines on there, but it's not rubberized. It still could be possibly slippy, or it's not too grippy. I'd have liked to have seen that rubberized. Then also this front section here. Now if you take a look at the Panasonic Arc 5 has this front section here where our thumb will sit on the front there. So when we're shaving like that, you know, it kind of helps us to keep the shaver stable, where this doesn't have anything on the front. It's okay, but I just would have liked to have seen that feature put there, or a little rubber section. Some of you guys might like this minimalistic kind of design on it. I mean, this other, I think the model number of this, but this is as minimalistic as it can get. Yeah, I mean, some guys kind of like that style, don't they? The head section on this, it will move left and right, but it won't move back and forth. Again, I'll use the Arc 5 as an example. This will move left and right. If I unlock it, let me unlock it. This will move left and right, plus it will move up and down. However, I didn't think that would be any use at all. I thought, why would they do that, where something like the brawn moves up and down? I thought that kind of makes sense for shaving along various contours, like the chin, the jaw area and the chin area. I thought left and right's not going to work so well. However, it does. I'll show that in the shaving demonstration, and you'll see that is practical and it is useful, and I'll show that. An important factor, as always, is the shaving elements. This has 3 shaving elements, so we get 2 files, top and bottom file, like a lot of shavers. In the mid section we have a trimmer. Now this trimmer picks up on flat line hairs, or just tricky to pick up hairs, longer hairs. The files do the main shaving. These files all flex independently, so this helps with contouring and keep maintaining skin contacts. Overall, I think the head design is pretty good for a mid-range price shaver. You know, with this style of shaving elements, and you know, everything kind of seems all right. I find that the head is easy enough to attach and detach. We have kind of a button on each side, one button on that side, one button on that side. Then we just press our thumb and finger in there, and it just pops that open. And it's easy enough to attach again. We just pop it on, it clicks in easy enough. Power button here is seated well within the body of the shaver, so I don't think that I'll find any problems with slipping on this the button and switching it on or off by accident. It has an attached detail trimmer that a slide out trimmer this one is. So we just slide this out on the back and it pops it up. Now, of course, this isn't going to be great like a dedicated trimmer. However, Panasonic generally are offer the best attached trimmers, pop-up trimmers, slide-out trimmers. Although it doesn't do a great job at trimming, it's pretty good for shaving the sideburns. The battery and charge, we get around about 45 minutes runtime from this with an hour charge. It takes an hour to fully charge it, which I guess my estimate for me using it is around about an hour, and around about 45 minutes. Not quite as long as a lot of other shavers that I do, and that was a little bit noticeable, but 45 minutes is still a good few shaves, isn't it? An interesting feature which I don't find that useful is it has this mode called the shaving foam mode, where if we press the button and we hold the button in, we'll see that a white light and a red light flashes. If you can see that, I'm not sure, but that will flash the red and white light, and then what's happened is the mode of it has changed, and we can create shaving foam. And apparently, I haven't used that yet, and I'm probably not going to. It seems a little bit pointless to me. But we put some sort of soap. I forget what we call it now. It's not kind of. You can't use shaving soap or shaving cream. I think it's soap cleanser. So it's some sort of soap cleanser we put on our hand. Then when we put it on that shaving foam mode, we can foam that up without foaming it ourselves. But that's all I know about that feature. It's not really a feature that I need at all. It's not too flashy on the LED fronts. All we get really is we get a light that lights up once the battery is running out, once the battery's only got so many minutes left within it. I forgot to mention actually, If the battery has run flat, we can get a quick boost it for a quick 3 minutes or so and get one quick shave off. If we've got in mid-flight of shaving, the battery's gone flat, we can quickly recharge it and finish off the job. But yeah, the indicator lights are very simple. A light that's indicating that the battery's running flat, then also an indicator light that comes on when we are charging it, and then it stops flashing once it's fully charged. We get this adapter with it, and it's one of those kind of proprietary, the word that I cannot say properly, Panasonic proprietary or specialised one that only fits a Panasonic shaver. It's not a Type C or USB or USB Type C at all. It's kind of really big adapter. I don't have another adapter here to compare it to, but that's just noticeable because we've got so many small adapters. Yes, it's a little bit bulky, so if you travel, you've got a little bit more bulk with you. Right inside the box, we get this little travel case, a fabric one. That's okay, basic, what you'd expect with kind of mid-range shaver. We also get this blade cap cover that fits on easy enough if I put it the right way. Yeah, that fits on nicely. Blade can take care of the files. We get a small bottle of oil for lubrication, a small brush for giving it a clean. And that's about it, bar some instructions, and the instructions they're alright actually, they're not too bad. You know, some are extremely mini writing and don't explain enough. That kind of gives you enough detail, I think, really. Cleaning and maintenance. Cleaning is fairly easy. My usual routine is to pop this top cap off, and then I brush out and blow out most of the main debris. And if I'm going to, and I'll do that for about every 3 shaves, and on the 4th shave, what I would do is I'll give it a wet clean. So I'll take that cap off, give it a blowout and a brush out, then put the cap back on. Then what I always do is put a couple of blobs of hand antibacterial soap onto the files, rub that in slightly, add a few drops of water, and let the shaver run for 10 seconds or so. It's optional to use any sort of soap that you want. You can just do it with plain water. Then I give it a rinse afterwards, take it apart, take the top back off, make sure I've rinsed out everything properly and make sure it's thoroughly clean. Then I'll give it a little bit of a shake, and I'll dab around to remove the excess water, and then just let the shaver sit there for a couple of hours so it's properly dry out. I don't leave the shaver in the bathroom because of higher humidity. Put it out in somewhere where the humidity is not quite as high. And if I do wet clean, and I'd advise this or recommend it if you wet shave as well, is to oil the cutters afterwards. When we've got our shaving oil, all we need to do is put a couple of drops on each of the files and a couple of drops of oil on the shaver, the trimmer section in the centre. This is what I usually do anyway. Then I run the shaver for 10 seconds or so, and this oil will seep through onto the cutters as well. I mean, you can take the top off, the top section off, and then oil these separately, but we don't need to. The best way that I found is to oil them via the files plus the centre trimmer. Then let that run for 10 seconds or so, open it up, clean around with the tissue with any excess oil, then that's it, the shaver's fully lubricated. It's going to last a little bit longer and run a bit smoother. I also put a couple of drops of oil on the trimmer as well, the attached trimmer. Put a couple of drops of oil on there, let that run for a few seconds or so, remove any excess oil, and that keeps that running smoothly as well. So more importantly, how does it shave? I'm going to grab a mirror and get a shave on. Right, I had a good few days of growth. What I've done is I've trimmed it down somewhat with a beard trimmer. This is the most hair I'd want to, facial hair I'd want to shave with this type of shaver. Anything more than this is going to be too much for it. Let's fire it up and get going. I'm a bit more gentle on my first kind of pass. After that, you'll see that once I get into it, I start using quite a lot of pressure. It's the only way that I remove I've got hair that is coarse, so it's the only way I'd remove my hair. The hair is quite coarse, it grows in various directions, but I know it quite well. Well, you should be able to hear that cutting through the hairs. Shaving on the nose area is pretty good. And what I'd noticed previously with this is the way this movement moves really well underneath areas like this and around the jaw. Let me try and show you this. See if you can get in close with it. It's hard to see, but this just moves in there perfectly. Now I thought that this shaver had a disadvantage of only being able to move this way, flex that way, and not back and forward. However, it's, yeah, that movement there is pretty cool for that area and certain other areas. It's going across and contouring across the jaw, the chin rather, and the jaw area pretty well. Probably not as good as other types of shavers that have more of a flex that goes back and forward. It's not kind of rolling over quite as good. It's okay though. Okay, let's see where we're at after the first main pass. Yeah, I've got some longer hairs that are left over that I need to pick up on. Some stubbly areas around here. The sideburns area, yeah. Okay, let's see if we can remove that. I'm going to have to apply a little bit more pressure. Some of you guys might not be able to apply pressure like this because you cause irritation. I am not going to have a decent shave unless I apply that pressure. So let's see if we can get rid of the rest of this. This type of shave I find it useful just holding the head like this, so I'm able to get more pressure and get it more precise. In areas like this I need to remove these hairs here, and this is the best way I found to enable that to happen. Okay, that's clear. And that side there. A little bit more there. That's it, perfect both sides. There around here needs to move some, so a bit more pressure there. Okay, that's feeling much more like it now. You'll notice I'm going down that way there. That's because that's against the grain. My hair grows that direction, so if I go this way I'm going to get a closer shave. However, doing it too much, and for some guys you're going to get too much irritation from this, and if I do it too much I'll get irritation. But I kind of know my limits. And I do this all for the sake of a closer shave. Okay. So comfort, it's fairly comfortable. I've used other shavers that are more comfortable and other shavers that are less comfortable. The higher end shavers like the Philips i9000, Ultra, Prestige and all that, plus the Braun Series 8, Braun Series 9 Pro Plus, they're much more comfortable, but you know, got to think about the price range of this shaver. Okay, so we're done there. Yeah, pretty decent shave, fairly close. I can feel slight minor stubble areas, very minor though, and I'll probably have to go over this shortly. A couple of hairs there. Okay, let's get rid of them. Does it get rid of them? Yeah, it does straight away. Yeah, I've noticed a good few hairs there. I don't know if you can see them. You know, this can happen quite frequently with many shavers, so I wouldn't point that this issue only at this shaver. It's partly me and the shaver. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. So there we go, that's how it shaves. So it's not the most comfortable shave that I've used compared to the higher end shavers like a Braun Series 8, 9, Philips i9000. It's not quite as comfortable as that. It's not as quick as those as getting the job done. However, keep in mind that I have quite coarse hair and hair that grows in various directions. Now for somebody who has finer hair and doesn't grow in so many directions, or even just finer hair, they're going to have an easier time with this shave than what I will, or what I have. Who do I recommend it for? So I reckon for somebody who's looking for a shaver in the mid-price range, it's worth comparing with shavers like the Braun Series 3, 5 and 6, most definitely the Series 6. It's worth comparing with that. I'll put videos in a link for the description for reviews on all of those shavers, so you may want to compare with them. I'm not sure where this is going to stand on my best shavers roundup on shaveadvisor.com. I don't think it's going to get included. It's not a shaver that has kind of wowed me. I thought, yeah, that's better than that shaver. Maybe I need to pick up a Series 6 and this shaver and shave side by side and get some comparison going. But until then, I'm not so sure. So maybe take a look at my website page at shaveadvisor.com for the best roundup of shavers that I've ever used. But anyway, that's about it for this shaver. What's coming up next? I've got to get back onto doing some wet shaving. Now I'm going to be using this, if you're into head shaving, this Leaf original shaver, which has 3 blades on it. I'm going to be doing a head shave with that and reviewing it. Then also I have another Leaf razor. I think this is Leaf Twig or another razor. This will be doing a facial shave with some Truffit and Hill shaving soap. I'm going to be doing a review on that. This is the stuff that I'm using at the moment. And also this body groomer. You know, I'm into my body groomer as well. So this body groomer from Philips, the latest 5000 series. So that's the stuff that's going to be coming up. Next to electric shaver, I'm not sure what I'm going to be reviewing actually. So until next time guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.